Chapter 1. This is how it started. "What's taking you so long in there? Did you fall in?" Carter Benson called to the closed bathroom door. The only answer was a muffled something from the other side that he couldn't understand. Stretched out in a big red beanbag chair in his friend Nick Braithwaite's bedroom, Carter scarfed a handful of Doritos and burst into song. "Stranded on the toilet bowl. What do you do if you can't reach the roll?" "You are one sick tadpole," Angelo Ruiz said without looking up from Nick's desk, where he was putting the finishing touches on a very realistic-looking plastic vampire model. "He's been in there half an hour," Carter said around a mouthful of chips. "Even my sister doesn't take that long. Kid ought to try prune juice or something." Angelo pushed back the dark hair hanging in his eyes, added 2 drops of red paint to the vampire's fangs, and studied the model with a critical gaze. His big brown eyes appeared positively huge behind his even bigger glasses. Apparently satisfied with his work, he set the model on the desk. "He's not on the toilet. Nick said this is going to be the scariest costume ever. Maybe it takes a while to put on." Carter rolled his eyes. He was a foot shorter than Angelo, and although he ate more than the other 2 boys combined, he never seemed to gain any weight. He also couldn't settle on a color for his short, spiky hair. This month it was dyed candy apple red, but a few spots of last month's day-glow yellow still showed through above his ears. "My grandma could put on a costume faster than this, and she's so old she has hieroglyphics on her driver's license." "Not a pretty picture," Angelo said with a shudder. Carter jumped to his feet, pressed one hand to his lower back, and shuffled across the room. "Come give Granny Goulash a big wet smackaroonie, and I'll let you have one of my stale oatmeal toffee bars. Or is this something I scooped out of Fluffy's litter box? Can't really seem to remember." Angelo grimaced. "Remind me never to go to your grandma's for Thanksgiving." Before Carter could respond, an ominous voice that sounded as though it were talking through a pile of wet blankets spoke from inside the bathroom. 2 more minutes." Angelo cocked an eyebrow and glanced toward the door. "This is gonna be good." It was October 28th, 3 days before Halloween, the boys' favorite holiday of the year, even better than Christmas or the 4th of July. The candy was great, and going to haunted houses was cool too. But their favorite part was coming up with costumes that were scarier than the ones from the year before. Carter dropped onto the chair and dug to the bottom of the chip bag. "I bet it's a mummy." "Nope. We did mummies 3 years ago, remember? You forgot to wear anything but your boxers under the bandages." "How was I supposed to know it was going to rain?" Carter said, frowning at the memory of having to run home in nothing but his underwear and a few strands of soggy brown crepe paper. And the worst part was, he only had half a bag of candy when the downpour hit. In the 4 years since they'd discovered their mutual love for monsters and become best friends, Angelo, Carter, and Nick had gone trick-or-treating together every Halloween. One year, they all went as headless horsemen, complete with bloody neck stumps and gruesome severed heads. Another year, they were chainsaw-wielding surgeons with spare body parts sticking out of their lab coat pockets. They'd become something of a legend around their neighborhood. Every year, the other kids, and even the parents, waited to see what the 3 monster-tears, as they called themselves, would be. This year, it was Nick's turn to come up with the idea. And although they knew he'd been working on the costume for months, he'd remained extremely secretive about what the costume was. But tonight, 3 days before Halloween, was the big unveiling. "Do you think there are some